Welcome back to the podcast. Woo! Yeah. And we finally have a name, right, Ryan? We have a name.
We have a name. We picked one.
Yeah, we're going to go with Rands People Miles, RPM podcast. Shout out to Joni Hiltonen. I hope I'm saying that right. She was the one that suggested it on the last post. So that's what we're going with. We're going to call it the RPM podcast, Rands People Miles.
All right.
I think that kind of works for what we're going to do and kind of the tone of the podcast, so to speak. So we're excited to have a name finally, and we're excited to introduce our first driver, brand new to Rands, kind of brand new, like a month, right?
Roughly 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay,
Yeah.
about a month.
Yeah.
But she is new to Rands, kind of new to trucking in general, just about a year. Is that accurate?
2 years.
2 years in trucking. And do you just want to introduce yourself to everyone?
Hi, my name is Maija. I just recently got into the Rands trucking here. And so far it's been really good and I've enjoyed it. So
Fantastic. Yeah, it's been great having you too, Maija.
yeah, thanks.
You bet.
Absolutely. What kind of, I guess, not necessarily problems, but what kind of challenges have you faced over not just the 3 weeks at Rands, but your 2 years just in trucking in general?
Just I've recently before I started this job, I worked for a feed company, so I did a lot of back roading and, just delivering to farms. So it was a lot different coming from the farming background to coming into something that was just all different, with working with tandems and, backing into things that are tighter than what I'm used to. But overall, it's been really good learning it, and my trainer was really great with teaching me and taking everything slow since I was not used to working with that kind of stuff. But since I've been on my own this week, it's been really good and kind of been a little more comfortable at doing things, but I still slip up once in a while. But I try to work myself through it, or if I have to, I'll call people to help me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely.
When you started here and started going through some of this stuff, and dealing with these new hurdles, like what have been some of the things that have helped you in all that? You said you've called people. Like who do you usually reach out to help?
Normally my trainer.
Yeah.
For sure. We spent quite a few weeks together, just because there was some other things trying to get me into a truck and stuff, due to my height issues. So it was a lot difficult, getting into a truck, but, if I'm having trouble, I will call my trainer. Other than that, I try to just take it slow. I try to remember. I have wrote notes down, that I've looked back at, just to get me through that. Or sometimes I just had to stop and rethink of what I'm doing. And just get me into the headspace of actually doing what I'm supposed to do,
Yeah, because everyone I've talked to has said you've been doing a great job, and there's no such thing as a job where you're just going to go into it new and not have some of those issues, So,
Yep.
now this is a very different thing for you, So talk to us a little bit about what you were doing with the farm stuff before.
So I drove bulk trailers. Sometimes I did hopper bottoms, but I was majority in bulk trailers with auger trucks. And some of the farms are a lot easier than others, because you have really big dairy farms and you also have small dairy farms. And a lot of the smaller dairy farms, it's a lot harder to get through because they have a lot more equipment on the lot and stuff. So it's harder to maneuver your trailers around. But coming from that, it kind of helped me get to where I am now today at Rands Trucking. But I did enjoy the farming aspect of things, because my family has been in the farming industry from a very young age. So coming from farming background, it was nice getting into that to see what it actually entails. And farming is kind of what we have today to feed us, So coming into that, it kind of made me think like, oh, okay, this is what I'm buying from the store, or, good quality meat to help me.
Yeah.
What I mean.
I do. Yeah.
So it's nice coming from the farming family background and then actually doing it and seeing different farms, because every farm is different. You don't always have the same farm every time. So it was a lot different coming through that, and then just coming into Rands Trucking with not having the experience in doing like hauling 53-foot trailers, it was a lot different. So, but it's been good, and I would say I probably like this a lot better than farming. I would probably say, because I get to see a little bit more, and it's just it's a different world than farming. So
yeah. Well, and something that you kind of touched on that I wanted to come back to a little bit is that you are a bit unique, actually, because most of the drivers that I hire are older, and many of them actually got into trucking later. You actually got into trucking pretty early, relatively speaking.
Yes.
So what kind of led you into it?
So I got my CDL when I was 20.
Yeah.
I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I was going into the medical field before I decided to take the CDL in my hands. And I kind of looked at it as, not wanting to sit in a classroom for 8 years and sitting behind a screen or textbooks. And I said, well, why don't I just try this instead? I kind of and it kind of fell into my laps a little bit because of my uncle. He was pretty much the one that got me the job and kind of like said, hey, do you want to get a CDL, and then it kind of just fell into my hands from there. And it's the best choice I've ever made for being a young female driver. I am 22, and I'm hoping, just being young as I am right now, I'm hoping to drive more younger females into this industry, because it's nicer to see it. And it's different coming from a woman's aspect, from a male's perspective on things too. It's just how they've taught me in CDL school and stuff like that. It's different. You see men out there, sometimes they have high egos or whatever, and they can kind of get in the way of things. And then you have females come in, and it's a whole different aspect and a whole different world. And I'm hoping just to help younger females come into this industry and hopefully bring more into Rands trucking as well, because I think it'll benefit us a lot.
So I'm going to come back to that in 2 seconds. I think some people are going to be wondering who the little sidekick
They
is
are.
that we keep picking up here. So
We
do
do
you know
have
the name of that?
Yeah, we have a fourth guest, our HR lady, Becca. Shout out Becca. She actually just got a brand new dog. Her name's Skyla. So if you see a dog running around on the floor or us picking her up, she's kind of a little devil right now.
Yeah.
But she's the cutest thing in the world. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Excited to have her. Something that stuck out to me that you said is that one, you're young in a super old industry, and you're a female in a male dominated industry.
Yeah.
What kind of challenges or obstacles that you might have seen, not necessarily in the CDL class they didn't talk to you about, that you had to experience on your first run, or something when you're out on your own that you didn't expect to see?
Trying to maneuver something large, and especially with my height, it's not great.
How tall are you, Maija?
I'm 5'2".
Fair enough.
So I am a little short. So it is a lot difficult for me to do things with backing or anything just in general, just because of my height and my size. So going out on my own for the first time at both companies, it wasn't like terrible, but it was difficult for me because I don't have the strength to do stuff where you always had to crank open doors on your trailers and stuff, where here with having empty van trailers and stuff, or loaded van trailers, it's heavy, and it's sometimes difficult for a woman my size to do that because I don't have enough strength. And even being on the road too, people just look at you differently and like kind of look at you like, and then take a second look and was like, whoa, that was a chick, So
Exactly.
It's different. And I would say probably from my last job to this job, I've gotten more looks at this job, I would
Really?
say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
I know a lot of farmers did come to me a lot and they'd always want to talk to me, but like people on the road, they just really didn't care. But in being with Rands and being on my own now, I've had a lot of looks,
Sure.
second looks,
Yeah.
gawking kind of like googly eyes, just because I'm like, they're coming from different states. They've probably never seen a young female like this, you know, in a trucking industry like this. Even going into yards or terminals that we have that, you know, if I have backhauls or whatever, it's just, you know, people just look at you or want to wave at you or want to talk to you. And it's like, okay, well, I have a job to do, people. But, you know, it's all right. I don't really care, but it's just, it's different. You know,
I think you and I can both relate to being spectacles when it comes to our sizes. You know, but that's okay.
It's the opposite.
Yes, yes, definitely, yes.
But I really love that because you're right. I mean, not only are there fewer females in the industry, but for certain, I would say very few younger ones, you know. So I kind of hope that you're able to be some kind of an inspiration to some of these folks, because you can do it. You know?
And that's what I like, and that was pretty much my entire goal with getting my CDL young, is just so other females can see a young female driver. And I know just the other day, I think it was on Monday, it was my first time blowing my air horn at 2 females driving, and they saw me and I looked at them and they wanted me to pull my air horn. I did. And I'm like, I love it, you know, just to see that and see other females wanting that, and they have large smiles on their faces when they see a female truck driver. That's what I want. Right. You know, it's nice seeing that from other people, and, you know, just for a company too, because it's easier to learn someone younger than someone who is older, and that, you know, if they have habits from in the past, you know, sometimes it's not easier to train people like that. So getting younger minds and stuff like that, it's easier to train them because they're willing to learn.
100%. Yeah, I hear that all the time. Actually, you got trained by Justin, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he tells me all the time that he'd rather have somebody like you, somebody young or not as experienced, so that he can teach him the right habit, teach him the right things, get them on the right path. That way he doesn't have to break old habits or break these bad habits that these guys have accrued over 10, 15, 20 years before they get to us. So, no, I think that's awesome. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Justin Clausen, the guy who trained her. He's great too, and I think that seeing someone like him be anxious isn't the correct word, but excited to help with that, you know, was also fun to see. And I would echo what he said. Like Justin did say something similar to me. He liked the fact that he got to train someone like you who, you know, it's not like you didn't know what you were doing. You've had you still already have 2 years of experience with that. But this being your first trucking job like this, it was just nice to be able to have the chance to shape that a little bit more. Now, I do want to come back though. So what would you say to any young females who might be afraid of doing something like this?
That's a hard one.
That's okay.
I would just say, if you don't know what you want to do with your life, CDL driving is probably the way to go. Yes, you're going to be sitting a lot. You're going to be behind a window, but you get to see a lot. And if you don't travel as much with your families or anything, this is a great way to actually go and see different states or different parts of your state that you live in. It's going to be scary at first, I can say. Especially when I first started my CDL job, I had a lot of people be like, wow, you're really tiny for being in the trucking industry. And it's like, well, don't judge, like as they say, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a woman by their size. You know, I'm like, you don't know where they've come from. You know, you don't know their backstory. And some of these women are hard women, you know, and it's incredible to see young females coming into something that's male dominated, because it kind of just shows that we can be stronger and we're not just meant for a kitchen.
Yes.
You know?
No, 100%. Like you were saying, there's such a stigma around it that it's a man's job. Only a man can do it. So I think that's really cool that you're putting yourself, not necessarily out there, but you're taking that step and kind of like a trailblazer, so to speak. You're joining an industry where you're in a minority of something that's not really common, and you're just trying to do the same job everybody else is trying to do. But with that, sometimes you get a little bit of the unwanted attention. So I can imagine how that can be a little bit difficult. But no, I think that's really cool that you're ambitious about it. You want to get other people into it, because not many people my age or our age, I shall say, want to get into truck. I don't know anybody I graduated with that's a truck driver now. I don't know anybody my age that wants to get into a truck. Yeah. It's just such a it's a man's industry. So I think if we want to continue to grow and get to where we want to go, we have to get younger. And I think that starts with you. And I think that starts with bringing in new, younger drivers that are maybe a year or two into their field, and they can learn these new habits and we can teach them and put them on a right path and help them start their trucking careers.
Right. Yep. And I would agree 100%.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that also stuck out, you said travel. What's like the best place? How have you been over the road your last 2 years?
I have not. I've stayed local pretty much. The furthest north I've been in trucking is Sturgeon Bay, and then the furthest south is towards Lake Geneva.
Okay, so you've never left Wisconsin?
I was in Minnesota actually just recently when I was in training, but not very far into the Minnesota border. But it has been a passion of mine that I have wanted to maybe try OTR because it will give me a chance to see what it's like in different states, because every state is different. You know, I'm like, Wisconsin, it's Wisconsin. You see trees, you see, farms, you see everything. Wisconsin is gorgeous. But once you get in other states, it's a whole different atmosphere. And to witness that at a young age is something I would like to do, and I do see myself being here for a long period of time that I may consider doing OTR just to see what it's like.
Let me know when you're ready, Maija. We'll make it happen.
It's nice to have that opportunity, and OTR is not for everyone. Okay, it's especially being at a young age for me. I want to start a family one day. I have goals and stuff in my life being as a 22-year-old female, but OTR was kind of just a thing for me to see what it's like, and it's not for everyone. But overall, it just gives you the experience of what it's like, and understanding what other states have to bring to you.
Good. Yeah, and I hope that you get to experience that someday. So, I mean, like I said, whenever you're ready for that, we'd like to be part of seeing you do that,
100%. That's a big thing for us here. We want to see you guys grow and continue to level up, so to speak. So go from being local and maybe move to more regional and then over the road. And next thing you know, you're here for 10, 15, 20 years.
Right. I could retire here at Rands.
Well, we hope so.
Well, what's been we might have addressed this a little bit, but what have been some of your favorite things being a truck driver?
Meeting new people, for sure. And I don't know. Just being able to be myself and enjoy life.
Do you like the fast-paced aspect of it? Would you rather be sitting in an office all day, or would you?
No, I will not be sitting behind a computer.
Good.
I cannot. I've been doing that since I was 14.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it's nice not being behind a computer. Yeah, it's kind of the same. You sit in a seat all day and you look outside and you deal with idiots. Though.
The view changes. Get better views than the office walls or
right.
So.
Yeah.
So I want to get your opinion on something, because I think that a lot of people don't really look at truck drivers as super informed people. And from my perspective, you guys are some of the people who have some of the most time to consume what's going on in the world and process that. I mean, now, I guess, would you agree with that? I mean, how would you say you use the time you have just sitting in the truck driving?
Sometimes I think about like what I'm going to be doing next. Sometimes I people gaze, just look and see what other people are doing. And sometimes it's nice just to take that time from not driving to collect your thoughts on things, like recap everything you just did for the day or what's to come forward from your first stop of the day or whatever it is. And kind of just take that time to reflect on everything, because that one time, because you never know what's going to happen, after you get to your stop, and that could be your stop for the day, and then you come back to your yard, that could be your only day that only time that you can actually reflect on things, because from that point, from where you were to get back to where you have to be, sometimes it could be over with. It could be your last second of the day, you know. So I just kind of think of it as, you know, reflect on everything and just take it as it comes, and, you know, because you never know if it's going to be your last second of your life too.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy some of the peace that comes, like when you're just on the road?
Yeah. It's quiet. Sometimes it's nice, but you also get in your thoughts.
I bet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
Yep. I'm like, there's times where I've been in my thoughts, and it's hard, and sometimes you just have to push through. And, you know, if you want to call people so that they can be in your corner.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, trucking can be hard, and people say, oh, well, it's so easy. You just get to sit and drive all day. No, it's not. I'm like, there is like 10 million things running through your head all day long while you're driving. I'm like, it's not what you think it is. Yeah. I'm like, it's not like a 9 to 5, you know, it's constantly going. There's no stopping. Your mind doesn't stop. Yeah. It's always rolling, you know, so.
That's fantastic. I love that. Carson, what other thoughts do you have here?
Well, Skyla's chewing on my headphones right now, so that's kind of my big concern. So I need her to stop doing
Come on, buddy.
You're good. It's okay.
There we go.
She just likes to chew on things. So like when you're driving, you said you like to sit there and think a lot. Do you ever throw on like music, podcasts? Like, do you ever listen to anything, or is it all just maybe on the phone, or are you just sitting and thought?
I listen to music.
Yeah.
Sometimes I listen to podcasts here and there. The
Rands Trekking podcast.
I have watched it.
Good.
I did watch it, but normally if I'm doing podcasts, sometimes it's murder mysteries.
That's so
cool.
fair.
It's just, you know. But other than that, sometimes I like listening to, you know, I'll roll the window down and listen to what's outside.
Yeah.
Sometimes, because, you know, you never know. Sometimes if you roll the window down, there might be something wrong with your truck. Or
That's true.
Yeah.
I didn't
I didn't even think of it like that.
Or there's going to be something wrong with someone else's truck or whatever, and you're going to try to flag them down. You know, you never know. It kind of, as the day goes on, you kind of just, you know, do whatever feels right with you.
That's awesome.
That is really cool.
Well, Maija, I want to thank you for coming and joining us with the podcast here. Our first driver.
Yeah.
Thanks for being
I know it was a little
impromptu. We kind of threw it on you a little bit, but
That's okay. That's
stuff
okay.
happens. We appreciate you being flexible and helping us out a little bit. So.
Yeah, not a problem.
Awesome.
Thanks, Maija.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep.
I think that's
Thank
it.
you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.